Good afternoon, folks, and welcome to another edition of The Arena, the very first of this week, and it promises to be another exciting one. Remember, it is also the last edition for the month of February. It's all about the Nigerian Professional Football League at this point in time, and it seems like a two-horse race following the weekend's matches. We have Remo Stars also getting a win following two successive draws, but the biggest one has to be Plateau United spanking Aqua United by 3-0. It was on paper the biggest match of the season, or rather, yeah, the season if you want to put it that way, or the weekend, but it was Plateau United who ran out 3-0 winners convincingly. And there you have the standings talking about the Nigerian Professional Football League, where Rivers United are topping with 32 points from 15 games, and Plateau United are just a point behind on 31 points. And if you look at the goal difference as well, both teams are closely knitted. 16 goal difference for Rivers United, while for Plateau United it is 15. But let's quickly delve into the scores, talking about the results from yesterday's, or rather the weekend, week 15's matches. And there you have it on your screen. Rivers United, a 2-1 win over Nassau United, guaranteed them top spot for yet another week, while Rangers United International could only play out a draw against Kano Pillars. Abia Warriors got a 2-1 victory over Shooting Stars. Remo Stars, as I said earlier, after two successive defeats, are able to get back to winning ways. 2-0 that ended in a Kenya against Katsina United. Eyimba Football Club of Aba seemed like they could do no wrong at the beginning of the season, are now suffering some sort of loss of form as they lost to Atlant by a lone goal. For Atlant, that's a very good win as it pulls them through when it comes to the relegation waters, although they are still they still have 16 points and are still within the relegation zone. You have Dakada United also earning a 2-1 victory over Lobby Stars, and that was also an impressive one, talking about Dakada International, who is also trying as much as possible, you know, to get out of relegation. You have MFM, that 20th, they are at the bottom of the table, but they were able to get a 1-0 victory over Sunshine Stars, and that as well is commendable, although they still have lots to do when it comes to getting out of the relegation zone, because other teams above them are just getting the results. You have Wiki Tourist as well, getting a 1-0 victory over Gombe United, and as I said earlier, the biggest was yesterday, and it was between Plateau United and Aqua United. It was a 3-0 win for Plateau United, and it seems Fidelis Ilechukwu, the former coach of MFM Football Club, is doing everything right at Plateau United as they are jostling for the league title. Yes, it's all about European club football, but the biggest one probably has to be Carabao Cup for England, where it was about Liverpool and Chelsea, and what a match it was that went into penalties, goalless. Both teams had the chances to clinch this one. It couldn't happen as both goalkeepers pulled off impressive saves. You had Edward Mendy in goal for Chelsea, pulling off quite a handful of saves, especially two from Sadio Mane, to ensure that the tie went into, you know, penalties. You should also give credit to Keller, the goalkeeper of Liverpool, the second choice goalkeeper who was in goal on the day. And to the penalties itself, it was quite an intriguing one, as goalkeeper Kepa Arrizabalaga, who was brought in just to save penalties, considering his heroics when it comes to penalty shootouts, was the one who turned villain as he blazed the spot kick way over the bar to ensure that Liverpool were crowned champions. And Liverpool, it was just a perfect opportunity for them. 11 spot kicks taken, 11 converted, while for Chelsea, they converted 10 until Kepa decided to be Kepa in that sense. But it's what it is. Liverpool are deserving of it, and over the balance of play during the course of the duration of the game, you probably tilt towards Liverpool as more deserving of the trophy, though Chelsea got 2 goals into the back of the net. Lukaku scored a goal that was ruled out for offside. You also had Kai Havertz also scoring, that also got ruled out for offside. And we can also, you know, recall that Joel Matip also got a goal for Liverpool, with the VAR intervening at every turn. But it's why it says Liverpool are champions, and it's just a conquest that they've achieved. They're still on 3 fronts when it comes to the other trophies at their disposal. The UEFA Champions League is there, where they ran out 2-0 winners in the first leg away from home, and it seems like they've placed their foot firmly into the quarterfinals. You also have Liverpool contesting for the Premiership title, a Premier League title, I beg your pardon. Let's move away from that now and talk about some football stories. I will still stay with the Premier League, and it's all about Leeds United. Yes, Marcelo Bielsa, the Argentine coach of Leeds United, who led them to the Premier League in 2020, having won the championship, has finally been booted over the weekend following that loss to Liverpool. Remember, it was a 6-0 loss they suffered in the hands of Liverpool midweek last week. So now it's all about Jesse Marsch, who is set to replace Bielsa. And Marsch himself, a former RB Leipzig the coach, is set to take over at this point in time. Let's see if he will be able to turn the tides around. But for Bielsa, the journey with Leeds United has ended on a very sore note. It's seen Leeds United struggle for survival at this point in time, as they are still battling with relegation, so to speak. Their status isn't yet confirmed, but for Bielsa, it's such a way to end his journey right there. Having had glorious times with them, reformed the team in terms of their on-field antics or heroics. Also invented what you can refer to as the Bielsa ball, where they played some beautiful football. But it is what it is. Sometimes change is inevitable, and considering the run of form and the results, it's just understandable. Let's see if the former RB Leipzig man Jesse Marsch will be able to turn the tides around at Leeds United. Now let's delve into international football, and it's all about FIFA. Remember, Russia's invasion of Ukraine has brought about several reactions, and it's not just in the political world, though it is a political situation, but it has trickle-down effects, as politics definitely affects everything that has to do with the polity, including sports and entertainment. Now, FIFA has ordered, in a very extraordinary circumstance, has ordered that Russia will no longer play football under its name, that's the Russian name, but rather will play football under the name Football Union of Russia. And it has also banned Russia from making use of its flag and national anthem during football matches. But for all of these, remember that the football world is united against the war that is taking place in Ukraine right now, as Russian attack is currently ongoing in Ukraine. So you have several football clubs, even during the Europa League and Champions League games last week, you had several football teams showing their support for Ukraine and calling for an end to the war, which so many people have termed as unprovoked and also unnecessary, as it were. But the latest is FIFA ordering that Russia should play under the name Football Union of Russia, and it has also banned its use of flag and anthem. Now, this has brought about reactions from stakeholders within the football community, talking about various teams and football association presidents who have rebuked FIFA for still giving and permitting Russia to carry on. Now, Russia is set to participate when it comes to the FIFA World Cup qualifiers, or the playoffs as it were. They are scheduled to play on the 24th of March, and right now that match is also in doubt, because they're meant to play Poland on the 24th of March, and whoever wins the tie between Russia and Poland will go on to face the winner between Sweden and Czech Republic 5 days later, which is on the 29th of March. But as it stands, Poland have refused to play. They've released a statement saying that they will not play Russia under the circumstances, and more importantly is that they are not willing to even play Russia, considering the war that is ongoing at this point in time. So what it means is the World Cup playoff between Russia and Poland on the 24th of March is not only in doubt, it's looking like it will not even hold at all. Poland have called for the ban of Russia. Let's see how FIFA reacts to this. Now, still talking about FIFA and the reactions that have come about, Russia's invasion of Ukraine, several countries are now speaking up and saying that they will not play against Russia. And it's not just in football, but when it comes to football, England and Wales have all joined the list of other teams to insist that they would not play against Russia should they meet. And now the list of countries are growing by the day. You have Poland, as I mentioned earlier. You have Sweden, you have Czech Republic, you have England, you have Wales. So many countries are now speaking up and deciding or uniting in one voice that they will not play against Russia, regardless of the name, be it Russia or Football Union of Russia, as FIFA has stated, and just shows you the unity in football at this point in time regards the war going on in Ukraine. We hope that FIFA will be able to listen to these countries. FIFA has also threatened, by the way, that there will be a possible ban of Russia from playing international matches if the situation in Ukraine continues, talking about the war.